Guys, welcome to Sports Gambling Podcast Network's NFL Draft Preview. We're going through the Abdul Carter player profile. I just left the Combine media, and a lot of people are talking about Abdul Carter. He's been the number one pick for a long time, or at least the number one player on the board, number one non-quarterback, expected to be selected. Big news is that he's got a stress reaction in his foot. There were mixed reviews and reports saying he needed to have surgery. And some said he didn't. His camp is saying he does not need to have surgery. He's going to work out at his pro day. He's not doing anything at the combine. And he's going to prove to us that he does not need surgery and that the foot is not a problem. He's in contention for the number one pick with the Titans and a few other teams. He's a freaky talent. He's probably one of the few blue chip players in this draft with Travis Hunter and Ashton Genty, and he's an edge from Penn State. He's 21. He's a junior, so he's coming out a little early. 6'3", 259. So he's got the ideal build. Last year he had 12 sacks, 68 tackles, 24 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles. The only reason he's not projected to be the number one overall is the quarterback question mark, as well as now what's going on with his foot. Daniel Jeremiah has him at 1. PFF has him at 2. As far as his strengths, he made the freaks list: long limbs, powerful frame, and you can see that where he stacks and sheds blockers. He really is quick to the punch with those long arms, and it makes it hard for the tackles to get their hands on him. His production is a strength: 12 sacks, 24 tackles for loss in 2025, 42 games. He has 41 tackles for loss and 23 sacks, 172 tackles. He's good against the run. He's great against the pass. He's just really an all-around player. And you look at someone like Tennessee and Cleveland. Yeah, they have, one good edge rusher. They could use another. But you look at Harold Landry's looking for, potentially being traded out. You're looking at Myles Garrett potentially being traded out. And then, of course, the Giants, they have several, linemen. There's no way this guy makes it past the Patriots. Someone could trade up for him. I just think he's a lock for a top 3 pick, top 4 pick. Other strength, athleticism, quick first step, burst, and ideal bend. When you talk about, bend and ankle flexion, what they mean is really, can they maintain speed when they're going around the corner and make that tight turn? You see a lot of the 3-cone drills and the different drills of the combine. This is what they're looking for. And you see that, the quarterback knows that, okay, I do my 3-step drop or a 5-step drop back, and then I'm going to step up into the pocket. You hear that a lot of times. Well, he's the kind of guy that can bend around that edge and catch them when they're stepping up instead of running just past the quarterback, and tackles just have a real hard time being able to handle his bend. A few weaknesses in his game: inconsistent technique. He's a dominant player, and sometimes he relies on that athleticism, so he can play, with his pads a little high and be a little inconsistent on his technique, just trying to rely on his athleticism and his play strength. When it comes down to the double teams, he's someone that did get washed up a little bit in the running game when he was double teamed. But again, it's one of those guys that, defenses had to scheme against him, and some of his production was lower because he was getting doubled and triple teamed and getting chips and all those things. He did have one off the field incident. There was his car was going to get towed, so he ripped the tow truck driver out, kind of threw him around a little bit, broke his rib. They did find marijuana in his car. You may hear about that, but other than that, there's really nothing off the field. And then, of course, you have the foot. Player comparisons: Von Miller by Bleacher Report. Pro Football Network says Micah Parsons. You have Kayvon Thibodeau from NFL Draft Buzz. Mock draft landing spots: Cleveland, Tennessee, and New England, like I said earlier. And like I said, this guy is going to be one of the top picks, and he's probably the highest projected, player as far as ceiling of anybody in this class. All right, that's the Abdul Carter episode. We're going to do our top 30 players, 3 pros, 3 weaknesses.